please may I invite Boris Pevzner, the co-founder and CEO of Live Art, who will be speaking about how NFTs can brave the storm.
All right, well, welcome. And yes, what I'm going to talk about is how NFTs can brave the storm. I'm Boris Pevzner, the CEO and co-founder of Live Art. We at Live Art have a very strong viewpoint on how to answer this question. And the answer is actually quite simple, deceptively simple, and perhaps somewhat controversial. In our mind and our experience, the answer is quality. And as the NFT bubble has deflated, there has been a flight to quality in the market. And this applies to both the buyers and to the artists. So the buyers are looking for top quality projects from established artists with a proven track record of commercial success. And they're looking for artworks that will hold value. That's what we found. And the artists have been burnt by flippers and speculators, and they're looking for quality collectors who will collect and treasure and hold their art as opposed to flip and speculate it. And so basically what we're doing is taking advantage of this trend, the flight to quality, to build a platform called Live Art that is the premium art NFT, basically in the premium art NFT segment. So the macro picture actually supports this view very strongly. The traditional art market just had its best year in history, so the highest sales totals in history, largest single collection sales, multiple price records, really ever in history, not like recently or anything, but ever in the history of the universe. So the question is how to translate this into the premium sector of the Web3 NFT space. And so let's see what the market dynamics is telling us. The number of art market sales that are happening online has been steadily rising, so that's a good trend. Web3 is disrupting and supercharging the art market in a major way. It brings new creators, new audiences into the art market. The brands have been doing collaborations with artists, so that brings art to the broadest possible consumer audiences, you know, people who buy sneakers, wear designer bags, eat at restaurants. Just to say all of us are now consumers of art because brands are doing collaborations with artists, which is obviously kind of a completely new and amazing trend. So that's why we believe that Web3, generally speaking, is the future of the art market. It's changing how art is created, how it's traded, how it's licensed, and how it's distributed. So who are we, and you know, why we have these kind of strong thoughts about the space? Well, my co-founders and I have been in the art market for a very long time. We founded and co-founded 11 companies. Among us, one of my companies, Collectrium, was actually acquired by Christie's. And Sotheby's acquired the company that Adam co-founded, and then he became the chief operating officer of Sotheby's for 2 years. So, and John ran e-commerce and online sales for both Christie's, which is where I met him, and then later at Sotheby's. So we know our way around the art market. And that's why sort of the opinions that we have are kind of born from the art market establishment and how we see this market evolving. And so for the last couple of years, we've been bringing our network and expertise to Web3. So we work with traditional artists, bringing them to Web3 in ways that audiences, you know, that advances the artist's existing market and feels native to the Web3 audiences at the same time. We work with digital native artists who want the art world validation to get to the next level of their career. And we work with art institutions, museums, art galleries, and art fairs who want to launch their artists on our platform under their own brand. So the way that we engineer our projects is, well, obviously to sell out. This is our mantra. Everything has to sell out. And here's an example of one of our recent drops with from Huang Yuxing, one of the top contemporary artists. It sold in under 1 minute, generated about 1,300 ETH in primary, had a healthy secondary market with a mixture of holders from the Web3 OGs, like holders of the apes, the punks, the moonbirds, and new collectors coming into the space from the traditional art world. And so what we did recently is we introduced the Live Art X card, which is a membership and reward program that creates the collector culture that's analogous to what we have in the traditional art world. It rewards the true collectors who hold rather than flip and speculate. And really what we are trying to create here is a virtuous circle, so that the more true collectors rather than flippers and speculators a community has, the high quality of artists it's going to attract. So as I said in the beginning, it's about quality on both sides, right? It's not just the quality of the and the level of the artists who are producing, who are starting to enter Web3, but it's also the caliber of the collectors who are holding rather than being flippers and speculators, which obviously is kind of a, has been quite pervasive over the last couple of years. So we have about 400,000 art collectors in our community currently, so it's grown up to be quite large. To tie it all together, we recently did a private placement of the art token, which is a key part of our ecosystem. So the art token, what's interesting about it is that it powers not just our own community, the LiveArt Card community membership program, but also the rewards and loyalty programs of our partners. So the museums, the galleries, the art fairs that we work with. So it's been backed, as you can see here, by some of the top Web3 investors, Binance Labs, Animoca Brands, Hashkey, OKX, KuCoin, and some point we'll be listing it on exchanges. So basically, to reiterate, our view is that the key to NFT, braving the storm is quality. Quality of projects by top artists, and the quality of the collectors that hold rather than flip and speculate. And so our mission, and really how we think about this market evolving, post-bubble, is to create this virtuous circle, right? So that the more true collectors, rather than flippers and speculators, a community has, the higher quality and caliber of artists that it will attract. This is basically precisely what we've set out to do with LiveArt. This QR code is going to take you to our link tree, so thank you very much. And I think we have 3 more minutes if there are any questions. Thank you. Any questions from the audience? Because in many ways it's a bit of a contrarian view, right? Because, well, I'm not gonna put it. Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's an important question. It has many dimensions because it's like, first of all, why do you want to figure it out? Well, there are 2 sides to this market, right? There are artists and there are collectors. Artists need to figure it out because many artists have the existing careers, the existing markets. They invested a lot into their markets and careers, and they're afraid, in many cases, traditional artists are, that entering into Web3 space is going to damage those markets and those careers. So they need to understand how to do it, how to price the NFTs properly. And then from the buyer's perspective, right, so those are the Web3 buyers as well as buyers of NFTs that come from traditional art backgrounds. It's also important because, they need to understand why this is worth holding, right? Why this is actually, there is intrinsic value in those NFTs rather than something that you can flip and speculate on. So the way that we do it is we have a part of our platform is an art market analysis tool. In fact, it's quite pervasive in the art industry. If you walk into any auction house, sales room around the world, you will see people on the LiveArt app checking prices. What's special about that app is that it doesn't just give you price histories of about 340,000 artists, but it also gives you the current market value of anything that has ever sold at auction or, in some cases, privately. It also gives you indices, price indicators, kind of momentum indicators, trading indicators for artists. It's really it's like a Bloomberg terminal sort of for the art world. Now, the reason that this is important for, to your question, how it relates to your question, is that suppose an artist wants to, a traditional artist with a traditional market, wants to enter the Web3 space, right? So they need to price the NFTs in a way that is aligned with their current market, so it doesn't damage their current market, but also that is aligned with the Web3 audience of buyers. So the way that we do it is, we basically look at the market of that artist. That's what this digital quantitative platform that I just described is for. And we price the NFT collection in a way that aligns it with the existing price levels of the traditional art. So if the traditional art has been selling in, say, hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands, whatever the case may be, either the collection or individual chapters of that collection are going to have that same essentially price tag, right? And that way you have that continuity. But then the collection itself is split into multiple NFTs, and those NFTs would be aligned in their pricing to the audience of buyers. In some cases, some artists would have different price points for the, say, one-of-ones, like oil paintings, and different price point for the editions. So those two would also be referenced in the NFT collection. So maybe the entire collection will be referenced to the how the oil painting is priced, and individual NFTs to how paper editions are priced. So that would be an example of how it's done. Oh, that's right. I'm at zero. Great. Thank you very much. Any more questions? Just see me afterwards.